Daisy and the Trouble with Vampires. By Cass Gray. To the Addams Family. Chapter 1. The trouble with vampires is people shouldn't be allowed to dress up as them. Or talk about them. Or even think about them. Especially at Halloween. Vampires can be really scary at Halloween. So can all the other Halloween scary things. Not that anything scares me or anything. It's just that when people like Jack Beachwhistle keep talking about scary things at school all the time, including vampires, then after a while, things can get a bit scary-ish. Nothing scares me most of the time, at least not during the daytime anyway. Vampires don't scare me in the daytime, zombies don't scare me in the daytime, or ghosts or werewolves or even the Hooly Hooly Man. They did scare me a little bit on actual Halloween night, but that was different, because Halloween night is the scariest night in the world, especially if you go trick-or-treating for the first time with an actual vampire, who isn't an actual vampire, but you think she is, because she told you she is, but then she tells you she isn't, but by then you've already decided she is, because grown-ups aren't meant to tell fibs or even say the word vampire, especially if you haven't been trick-or-treating before. Which isn't my fault. Chapter 2. Did you know Halloween is short for Hello, we know something you don't know? I didn't either. Jack Beachwhistle told me as soon as I walked into school with Gabby last Monday. The trouble with someone telling you that they know something you don't know is it makes you want to know what it is. Even if it's Jack Beachwhistle doing the telling. Trouble is, I'd forgotten it was the beginning of Halloween week. The trouble with Halloween week is I didn't know that there was even such a thing as Halloween week. I thought there was just Halloween night. But Jack said he wasn't waiting until Saturday for Halloween to begin. As far as he was concerned, we should start getting afraid on Monday. Not just afraid either. Very afraid. When me and Gabby told him we weren't afraid of anything, Jack said he knew things that were so scary they would make the blood freeze in our veins. Plus, if we didn't believe him, then we should ask Colin and Harry. The trouble with Colin and Harry is they are Jack Beachwhistle's best friends, so they agree with everything he says. Even if the things Jack says are a bunch of whopping fibs. Me and Gabby told all three of them that we absolutely totally weren't listening to anything they had to say about Halloween week, and that if they kept saying things that were scary, we would tell Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters is our teacher and she can be proper scary. Trouble is, instead of saying more scary things to us, Jack said them to other people instead. Hello, we know something you don't know, he said, getting everyone to gather around him in the playground and then making evil slurping noises with his mouth. The trouble with Jack making evil slurping noises is that it makes you want to hear what he is going to say next. So we had to listen. Especially as it was a story about a haunted drinking fountain. According to Jack, the drinking fountain in our playground gets its water from the wicked well. The trouble with the wicked well is it's full of wicked frogs and wicked newts, which means if you drink from it at midnight on Halloween night when there's a full moon, you'll be chased by werewolves. Me and Gabby told everyone that everything Jack was saying was a lie. But Jack said, if we'd never drunk from our school fountain at midnight on Halloween night when there was a full moon, how could we be sure? Which was kind of true and really annoying, because we couldn't prove he was fibbing. Jack said the only way to defend yourself against werewolves is to shoot them with a gun that fires silver bullets. Or a crossbow that fires silver crossbow bolts. Or a massive castle catapult that fires silver boulders. Werewolves are allergic to silver. There were other scary things he said too. Did you know that if you hang your coat up on a certain coat hook in the classroom at midnight on Halloween night when there is a full moon, then the ghost of an evil headmaster from 10 centuries ago will float down the corridor wearing your coat and going W00000000? Me and Gabby told everyone that there were no such things as haunted coat hooks or haunted headmasters, but Jack said, if we'd never hung up a coat in school at midnight on Halloween night when there was a full moon, how could we be sure? Which was kind of true again, and even more annoying this time because do you know what he said next? He said that the most haunted coat hook in our classroom was the one I hang my coat on. And the second most haunted was Gabby's. And he didn't stop there either. He told us that pencil cases can be haunted, pencil sharpeners can be haunted, rubbers can be haunted, even bendy rulers can be haunted. What a load of fibs! Trouble is, Colin and Harry totally backed him up, so some people in our class thought it was true. Paula Potts wouldn't even open her pencil case when we sat down for lessons in case a haunted compass tried to stab her. And it didn't stop there either. Jack didn't stop telling scary stories on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday. He kept telling us things we didn't know and didn't even want to know all week. Chapter 3. When I met my mom after school on Monday, I told her all about Jack. Daisy, she said, Jack and his friends are just trying to give you the heebie-jeebies. There are no such things as werewolves, werfoxes, werchickens, or wereanythings. What about werpuddles? I asked. Jack says, if you tread in a puddle at midnight on Halloween night when there's a full moon, you'll turn into a wergoldfish. There are no such things as wergoldfish either, said my mom. You shouldn't believe a single word Jack Beachwhistle says. As soon as I was totally sure that Jack had been telling lies all day, I felt much better. I felt even happier when Mum told me that my nanny and Grampy would be coming for Sunday lunch the day after Halloween. I love Sunday lunch, especially when we sit at the table and have a tablecloth and everything. It feels so special. Can we have a roast dinner? I said. Yes, said my mom. Can we have crackling? I asked. Yes, said my mom. Can we have roast potatoes? I asked. Yes, we can have roast potatoes, said my mom. You forgot Yorkshire puddings, whispered Gabby. Can we have Yorkshire puddings? I asked. Yes, we can have Yorkshire puddings, said my mom. Can we not have peas? I asked. Yes, we cannot have peas, sighed my mom. Or Brussels, I laughed. Definitely no Brussels, said my mom, smiling. But we can have gravy, I said. Yes, we can definitely have gravy, said my mom. If you're extra good, I'll make a trifle too. Before I said goodbye to Gabby, we made a BFF pact never to listen to Jack Beachwhistle again. Unless we can't help it, she said. Unless we have no choice, I said. Because he's talking too loud, said Gabby. Or we're standing too close, I said. Apart from that, we are absolutely totally not going to listen to one single word Jack Beachwhistle says ever again. Absolutely totally, said Gabby, opening her front gate and giving me a wave goodbye. Pinky promise, I said, giving her a wiggle wave back. Pinky promise, she shouted, wiggling her little finger back at me and then closing her front door. Pinky double promise, I shouted, holding both my little fingers up and then remembering to tell my mom not to forget the applesauce. I love applesauce. Especially on roast dinners. Chapter 4. The trouble with Pinky double promises is they are really hard to keep, especially during Halloween week. You'll never guess what Jack Beachwhistle said to everyone in the playground on Tuesday. He said 666 is the devil's telephone number. Which means if you play hopscotch in the school playground during Halloween week and you miss square 6 3 times in a row, your head will explode. It was a good job Gabby and me had been listening, because if we hadn't, we wouldn't have been able to tell everyone that Jack was telling whopping fibs again. How do you know I'm fibbing? Said Jack. Because no one would ever play hopscotch in the school playground at midnight on Halloween night when there's a full moon. I shouted. Did I say anything about midnight? Asked Jack. No 0000000, said Harry, shaking his head really slowly. Did I even mention a full moon? Asked Jack. No, said Colin, shaking his head even more slowly than Harry did. All I said was if you play hopscotch in the school playground during Halloween week, said Jack, stroking his chin and then giving me the evils with his eyes. The trouble with Jack Beachwhistle giving you the evils with his eyes is it makes you want to give him the evils back. Trouble is, before I had even got my eyebrows into the right position, he had started clapping his hands, stamping his foot and shouting, "Dare! Dare! Dare!" The trouble with someone shouting "Dare! Dare! Dare!" in the playground is it makes everyone else shout it too. Even when they're meant to be on your side. Dare! 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 If you're so sure that I'm fibbing, said Jack, then you won't be afraid to play Halloween hopscotch in front of us right here, right now, will you? He laughed. Stand back, everyone! You don't want to get Daisy's brains all over you when her head explodes. It was no good. Everyone was looking at me now, even Gabby. Not only that. The dare! 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 Shouts had got even louder. Gabby told me I should take absolutely no notice of the dare 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 shouts, but I absolutely had no choice. I was absolutely going to have to play Halloween hopscotch whether I wanted to or not. Even if my head ended up exploding. Even if my brains ended up going all over the playground. Luckily, I had a plan. My plan was to spend so long throwing my stone from square number 1 to square number 5, I wouldn't have time to even get to number 6 before the lunch bell went. Unluckily, Jack had a plan too. He said I could start at square number 6. The trouble with starting at square number 6 is it means you're in the danger zone straight away. Because you haven't had a chance to practice your stone throwing. Or rolling. Or anything. So I thought of another plan. My second plan was to spend so long looking for a stone to throw that the bell would ring before I even had a chance to start playing. Only Jack had a second plan too. He got Colin and Harry to get a stone for me. When I said the stone they got me wasn't the right shape for rolling or throwing, the dare. Dare! Dare! Shouts changed to chicken. Chicken! Chicken, shouts, so I had to start playing straight away. The trouble with playing straight away is it's really hard to roll or throw a stone straight onto a number 6 hopscotch square. Especially if you're using a wrong-shaped stone, double especially if you haven't had any practices, and triple especially if the chicken. Chicken! Chicken, shouts change to miss. Miss! Miss, shouts. Miss! 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 Shouts can really put you off. So I missed. I tried really hard, but I still missed. As soon as my stone rolled past the number 6 square, everyone apart from Gabby started cheering. Which was so wrong. Because I would never want to see someone's head explode in the playground playing hopscotch. Not even Jack Beachwhistle's. But they still kept doing it. And doing it and doing it. So I missed again. Which meant I only had one throw left. The trouble with only having one throw left is it makes you think you're definitely going to miss again, especially when the miss. Miss! Miss! Shouts change to explode. Explode! Explode, shouts. The more I heard explode, the smaller the number 6 square looked. The smaller the number 6 square looked, the harder it got for me to aim. The harder it got for me to aim, the surer I was that I was going to miss. So I missed again by quite a long way actually. As soon as my stone bounced past the number 10 square, everyone around me jumped back and covered their ears. Apart from Gabby. Gabby knew all along that my head wasn't going to explode. So did I actually. Which is why I wasn't really bothered whether I missed or not. Ha! I said to Jack Beachwhistle, pointing at my head with both of my pointing fingers. Who's the fibber now? But Jack just folded his arms. I didn't say when your head would explode, he grinned, I just said it would explode. Honestly, that boy is the worst. The trouble with doing afternoon lessons thinking your head is about to explode is it makes it really hard to concentrate. Was I pleased to hear the school bell ring at the end of the day? When I met Mum outside the school gates, I asked her straight away if my head was actually going to explode. Daisy, I told you yesterday not to take any notice of Jack Beachwhistle, she said. If he knows he can wind you up, then he will wind you up. So, just ignore him. So that's what me and Gabby definitely, absolutely, totally decided we would do. We wouldn't look at Jack Beachwhistle. We wouldn't go near Jack Beachwhistle. In fact, we would never listen to Jack Beachwhistle ever again. Quadruple Pinky Promise. Chapter 5. You'll never guess what Jack said to us on Wednesday. Apart from hello, we know something you don't know. He said there's a zombie graveyard buried under our classroom. The trouble with having a zombie graveyard under your classroom is that if it's midnight on Halloween night when there's a full moon, the zombies can wake up. Apparently when a load of zombies all wake up at the same time, it's called a zombie rising. But if they all wake up and decide to take over the world, it's called a zombie invasion. Rising invasion. Gabby told Jack that he was the biggest liar in the world, because once you're dead, so you can't wake up, because to wake up you have to be able to open your eyes, and to be able to open your eyes you have to be alive, not dead, but Jack said that's how zombies work. Their deadness is so alive, they can rise up out of their graves, dig themselves out of the ground with their long creepy fingernails, and then hold their arms out and come and get you. When I asked Jack what zombies are made of, he said, evil gunge. He said the gunge inside a zombie is so evil that bullets can't stop them, missiles can't stop them, even the SAS can't stop them. If you want to fight a zombie, then the only way to defeat them is to fight gunge with gunge, Jack said. Especially at midnight on Halloween night when there's a full moon.